the Tuaru series. Oh my goodness gracious. What an amazing series with so many different shows to offer. Index, Railgun, Accelerator. We have 3 different takes on this magical scientific world, and I only really care about one of them, honestly. A Certain Scientific Railgun has become one of my favorite shows over this past year, and there have been very few shows where I've just been so absorbed and just completely lost myself in their world. So let me start out by introducing you to the exciting world of Academy City. Wait, Universal. Did I click on my movie? Hold on a second. Wait, no, that's just a show. Railgun follows the perspective of Mikoto Misaka, ranked as the 3rd strongest person in Academy City, and ranked 7th in the people's hearts. Friendly reminder that she's still in middle school. They let it be known that she's something of a celebrity because of her power ranking alone early on, but that's actually just a trap so you can see how humble and cool she is. And then her fame is never brought up again, but it is true, she is a very humble and pretty cool seeming character. And she's always there to answer the call if there's some city-threatening danger around. But it's not so much about her saving the day in Academy City as it is about uncovering the mystery and understanding what's really going on in Academy City. And to be fair, it's very easy to pick up on what's going on there, at least from this perspective. So what is Academy City? Well, you see. Academy City is an incredibly advanced city scientifically and technologically, boasting some of the greatest technological advances that you can ever see on their streets alone. I mean, look at this. But to sum it up simply, this is a place run with middle schoolers as the authority, an actually useless SWAT team, and an insurmountable amount of demented-ass mad scientists. Yeah, it's a pretty weird place. As simple as even that aspect appears to be on the surface level, as I watched on I noticed there was a lot more to it than I was expecting there to be. And I definitely think the motives and reasoning of a lot of these characters is one of the highlights of the show, seeing how these characters take on themes such as being powerless in a city literally full of powers, or dealing with feelings of isolation in the face of human experimentation. These characters' motives are something you could sympathize with, and there were so many moments where I felt like I just got hit by a fucking train of emotion. And honestly, watching the full story come together and understanding the full situation is just such a rewarding feeling. Watching each individual part build up episode after episode and wondering, speculating, what's gonna happen next. Oh my god, that's what makes the show so addicting to watch. But I really think the driving force for what makes it so interesting to watch aside from the story is the engagements had by the characters mid-battle. And it's not really so much about the character's mid-battle analysis ability, but the amount of logic and reasoning that goes into each ability is just mind-blowing. The power system in this show has the characters almost directly take real-world applications for their abilities and use them for themselves in the show. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why it is a certain scientific railgun. There is science. And because of this, there's a lot more creative uses for each character's abilities that you normally wouldn't see in other shows. And the fact that it still makes some logical amount of sense is a huge added bonus. I love it. And this is coming from someone who doesn't really have a notable background in physics or just science in general. I paid enough attention in school, alright? But I definitely feel like going into this show while having some sort of background in the field makes it that much more enjoyable. Anyways, to quickly summarize, the power ranking or scaling in this show isn't entirely raw power alone, rather your understanding of and ability to apply your knowledge to your power, presumably in combat scenarios. For example, looking back at Mikoto Misaka, her ability is essentially to generate and control electricity. This also means she can generate a magnetic force, which essentially means she can control metal to some extent, or if she feels like it, she can just be a human magnet, which she actually does often. It's serious business, alright, evasive maneuvers. And of course, as the title suggests, she can use an electromagnetic force to launch quarters at people as railguns, because why not? She actually launches money at people at lightning speeds, okay? Hey man, at least she's making efficient use of what she has. And it's really the little explanations like that that really make the fight scenes that much better. Then there's some characters like fucking Kuroko. She actually has to make calculations based on the 11th dimensional positions of things in order to teleport them. And I'm not about to explain the theory of everything to help you understand Shirai's powers, I'm sorry. And I think this also makes for a double-edged sword for other characters too. And this is only really because you don't get the same amount of explanations for the other characters' abilities, which is fair, because damn, that would be a lot of explanations. But it really makes characters like Kinyu Hata seem like a character who at the surface level just maxed out her defense stat for an RPG game. And as such, characters who really just have amplified physical strength in any regard just come off as less interesting than the main cast. But overall, this is definitely gotta be one of my favorite power systems in all of anime, at least that I've seen. My only other gripe about the show is that as a spin-off of Index, there are a few moments here and there that will make absolutely no sense if you didn't watch any Index at all. And I won't really get into it, but to briefly explain it, a certain magical index focuses on Toma and Index, and it focuses on magical abilities instead of scientific abilities, which basically means none of their powers make any fucking sense, and at least as far as I watched in Index Season 1, the plot made no sense either. Granted, that could just be my bias without having watched the last 2 seasons, but you don't need to watch all of Index to understand everything that happens in Railgun and vice versa. Anyways, go watch Railgun. Seriously, not enough people talked about Season 3.